So I would like to have your view on the 30th anniversary of Katsina State, though it's going to be on two angles. First, we'll take you up as one of the traditional leaders in Katsina State. The state was created while people like you were still on the corridor of power at the traditional end, and also among the vibrant civil servants before the creation of the state and also during. So, what's your perception if we are to look at the 30 years of the state from then to this present time?
Well, my perception is that we started from a period of very high satisfaction and high expectation, because the struggle for the creation of Katsina State has been a very long struggle. If those of us that will recall, whatever you had to do in Katsina State at that time, we had to do it. If you have a school to build, you have to build two. One for Kazaria, one for Katsina. That's how it was for quite a long time. One Katsina was called North Central State, when the states were created in the 70s by the Royal administration. So when we finally, in 1987, got Katsina State created, it was a period for joy for all of us. It was also a period of beginning of the challenge, because we got what we wanted, but what we found on the ground was more daunting than what we actually hoped to find on the ground. We realized that we had a lot of challenges in almost all areas and facets of administration of the state. Fortunately for us, the people from Katsina are well equipped at that time to actually take up the administration of the state. Because most of the civil servants at that time in Kaduna State actually came from Kaduna State. Good ones, very good ones that in all areas of endeavor or work. So when we came here, the challenge we had was something that we actually expected, but we didn't know that it was going to be that much. But alhamdulillah, we were able to surmount the initial take-off challenges. In fact, Aqua even had to come to see how we have started our administrative setup in Katsina State, because administration is one of the first things that the people of Katsina State have been known to be very good in it. So we came and started creating the various institutions required to run a state, and alhamdulillah, if you now reflect, you will see that most of the institutional arrangements that are needed to run successfully a state have been laid. The foundations were laid by the initial people that governed the state. We had to create ministries. For instance, I was working with the Katsina State Water Board. When we came, there was no water board, only Katsina District. So we had to struggle to establish a water board, and we did it. We also established ministries of water resources, agriculture, all the ministries in the state. So we have established the machinery of government, and a lot of things have actually happened. A lot of developmental projects have been executed, and the rest, we can see for ourselves what we have done for the state. Katsina itself was a local government. Now it's the city capital that can compete conveniently with other state capitals that were created much earlier than Katsina State. So we thank God that the expectations were high, but most of them, or at least if you like, you can see a lot of the expectations have been fulfilled, but we still need more. Because one thing that is for sure, when you look at issues of development planning, you will discover that we lack a lot of plans to take care of the future. And that is constrained by issue of funding and other infrastructural facilities that are provided, not only in Katsina, but in many other locations. So even if you want to develop, for instance, you need to have adequate power supply, water supply, and these are the main challenges, not only in Katsina, but in the whole nation.
The struggle for the creation of the state generally should be for the common man, the people at the rural areas whom you've been representing for quite a number of times as a traditional leader in the state. To what extent has the creation of the state have a positive impact in the life of the common man at the rural communities?
For quite a lot. You see, if you look at the revenue that was coming to Katsina State, at that time the revenue was very small because it was only accruing to the local governments. Now we have our share of the federation account, we have our share of the internally generated revenue, both at the local and state and the local government level. So we definitely have got additional income that has manifested itself in reaching down to the grassroots people you are referring to. Because these people now can say we have a lot more to gain than when there was no state. So we have brought governance closer to the people, and that has brought in a lot of income also to the ordinary people and also to quite a number of people. So to me, yes, it has impacted positively on the lives of the people, because it has also brought about socio-economic development in the state.
Within the next 30 years, what else should you think should be looked into properly for a better Katsina state?
Well, I want to see a Katsina state that in 30 years will look like Katsina would have actually lived. If you measure our development, Katsina state of 100 years. And I want to see how Katsina would actually, this period of 30 years, will lay the foundation of adequate plans that you can transform Katsina into a state that will be enviable in the whole country. A state where there will be a lot of prosperity, a state where people will come and invest, a state where we'll have a lot of educational institutions, a state where, you know, it can be an example for other states, nations to actually emulate. This is what I want to see a Katsina state in the next 30 years. Most of the challenges that we face today should actually no more be challenges. What we will need to do at that time, we have achieved so much from the target of what we set ourselves. So to do that, you really need to have your own vision and mission and the objectives of what you want to achieve. And I hope those foundations that have been laid for all this will have actually achieved all those items I listed.
So I think we've heard from the madwakin, daura, and the former civil servant in the state. We would like to know from Senator Mustapha Bukar now, at the political angle, sir, what's your take
On what?
on the state as it has matured politically?
Yeah, politically, you know, it has the same challenges that we have in quite a number of states that are contingent to us. Because I always say, if we want to do something, number one, if you look at the political angle, the electoral process has to be correct. It has to be correct in all the states that are contingent and the whole country. So really, the political development in the state is something that I think is worth emulating. Of course, it has happened in many states in Nigeria. We have the president coming from Katsina State, for instance. This is the in 2015 election. I think it's a landmark election, because that is the first time that the opposition could actually be able to take power from a ruling party that has stayed for 16 years. To me, that is a milestone, and that is something that we have set out. And I hope and believe that if we do what is needed, we will continue to improve on the lives and the political landscape of our own people, or of the state and the nation. Because we should be able to have very good transitions, very good elections, and very good political development. And where you have good political development or democracy, certainly you'll have a lot of prosperity, a lot of give and take, a lot of understanding, and a lot of hope that we will now be able to transit from those years when elections were really acceptable or do occur, to years that elections are assumed that only those people that are really serious, or people that the populace, the electorate, can trust will actually be voted into power, not people that can rig themselves into power, and people who really mean well to the people of the state that will actually be elected. This is my hope, this is my wish, and I do hope that we should be able to bring the dividends of democracy that Nigerians call, that we now be able to bring it to our people, so that we can have the piece of the action, if you like, or part of the cake, the national cake. But more of that is that we bring development into our country, into our